My name is Joseph Hurst. I live in Ankeny, Iowa, and I'm a part of the PMBA program. I currently work as the Director of Sales at Stony Creek Hotels in Johnston, Iowa, and I chose the Iowa State MBA program because it just made perfect sense. About 2 years ago, I started this wonderful program, and I couldn't imagine not having done it. What has helped the most balance work, life, school, has been the people I'm in class with. It's great to go through questions, problems, study for tests, and it just makes the whole class so much easier. As a working professional thinking about doing an MBA program, I get night classes aren't everybody's dream. I get after a long day of work, you may not want to go do more, but it's worth it. You're gonna learn a lot, not just from the professors in the program, but from the other students. They come from all walks of life. They are from different age groups, they're from different companies, they're from all kinds of different backgrounds, they've got all kinds of different stories. And after 2 years, I've made some of the best friends I've ever made, learned the most I've ever learned, and I can't imagine what we're gonna do after we're done.
Success in farming is all about precision and efficiency, ensuring every seed, every drop of water, every nutrient and treatment counts. Terraplex Ag is helping farmers all over Iowa and the Midwest do just that. With precision ag drone technology and support from Terraplex, you'll boost your productivity and make timely and informed decisions, all while reducing your costs and increasing your profit. It's time to revolutionize your farming. Harvest the benefits with Terraplex Ag. Visit TerraplexAg.com.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum, from the Wild Rose Casino Studio. It's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
All right, what's up? It's Wednesday, the 25th of September. The undefeated top 20 Cyclones kick off Big 12 play this weekend, and we're going to lead off with UNLV football. We are in the Wild Rose Casino Studios here in Ankeny.
We have a new guest.
Yes, if you're watching on the YouTube.
Hi, Brooke.
Hello to Brooke Burke, the model from the 90s. Thanks to Andrew Chaplin for this lovely addition to the studio. Brooke's just going to be joining us from now on, hanging out with us here in the Wild Rose Casino Studios. God bless her. Although she does have, it is a Budweiser sign. We should put duct tape over that and write Ames Lager. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Probably should happen for next show. Aiden, you're on it.
Hello, Ms. Brooke.
I feel like I'm in Welch Ave at 9 in the morning.
Presented by Mechdyne. Little English bringing in the horns for us on a Wednesday morning. Go get yourself a glass of this Irish cream. That'll be good for the bye week. Just drink that at the kids' soccer. Just pour it right in the coffee. Nobody's even going to know.
Bye week being not a home game.
Update. I am not able to go to Houston. You were a witness to this. My wife, when asked, was pissed. Like she was offended that I would even bring it up.
I believe the quote was, "Sorry, Charlie," which for Ashley was...
And she called us by our first names.
Yes.
So everybody knows we have a text chain that's our wives and us. It's called Your Favorite Neighbors. It's very, very cute.
Yeah.
And my wife was just flabbergasted
Appalled
that we would even ask. She has to work all weekend. And my folks they got the vid. So God bless them. Or they
Doing
did.
Okay? Doing all right?
Yeah, everybody's fine. But that...
Right. Do you have to ask that anymore? Like, I never know, like...
You can still die from it.
I know, but you still, like, ask? Like,
yeah.
Is the reaction me like, oh, like it used to be?
I don't feel like it's the same, but...
I need clarification.
But some people can, like, get it worse than others, I think,
for
you
sure.
know? Anyways, and so I will not be in Houston. Bloom, what is the verdict? Because it felt like you were inching your way closer.
I'm in. I'm going.
Wow, he's in.
See y'all down there. Direct flight?
Well, yeah. You're not taking a non-direct.
So,
are you staying with Mr. Bergstrom?
He did offer it. Which was very kind. Listened to the podcast and said, hey, you said, Bloom, you're in for free. If Williams wants to stay at Casa de Bergstrom, it's $1,000 to We Will.
Man.
So I appreciate Steve looking out for the cause.
It's a tough nut to crack right there.
I have I'm
going to pass, Steve.
From my fundraising days, I have a bunch of points still built up from Marriott properties. So again, appreciate the invitation. I'm going to.
So what are you doing? You're just going to fly down there and
fly down there at, I think I get there at like 5 or 5:30.
That sounds amazing.
See where the night takes me, and then leave on Sunday at like 11.
God, it sounds perfect.
And
Clones are 13.5-point favorites.
See some Cyclones down there in the meantime.
A lot of people are going to be at that game.
It's going to be a lot of people.
Honestly, after our little discussion on Sunday, I had dozens of people reach out to me. Hey, if you're coming down.
Same.
I can't. The wife won't let me.
So if you guys are tailgating, shoot me a message. I'll be down there looking for, since you can't have Ames Lager down there.
They got the Shiner Bock.
They do some Shiner. We might boot. I probably can't bootleg some on the plane. That probably would be a no-go.
Nope, I wouldn't even try it.
Okay.
I wouldn't even try
it. Chris, we'll miss you, but I will.
I feel like a man of Mr. Bergstrom's means would be able to get some frickin' Ames Lager down in Texas. Am I wrong? Can't Matt just ship some down to the Bergstrom residence?
I don't know the state laws. Like, I don't believe.
Cody Road ships all over the country.
Well, I think whiskey and beer's a little bit different.
Oh, no kidding?
I do. I don't think you can. Now, maybe you can ship it, but you can't sell it. Again, I'll find a way to stay hydrated. We'll miss you.
Well,
we'll look forward to seeing some Cyclones.
To be honest, I can do my job almost better. But it was more about the shenanigans of the night before.
Correct.
For me.
Yeah.
Just to see what kind of trouble we can drum up in Houston.
And quite honestly, and we're going to talk about this UNLV situation, which is super interesting. I'm very much like pro enjoying this season. Not that I'm fearful this will happen to Iowa State, but the whole college sports landscape as a whole,
you got to take it in,
is really strange right now. And so I'm just like, I'm not even worried about years beyond. Like, just enjoy this. This next 12 months for Iowa State athletics could be historic. So
could be the greatest in history.
It really could be. And so I'm going to just soak it in. I'm like, you know what? And by the way, I just want to make it clear, just so people are aware, I'm using my own personal dollars here to go down there.
Yeah, just leave it to some idiot on
Twitter.
Well,
I'm just because I know it's probably so I am literally using my own miles I've accumulated over the years. So this is no donor dollars.
It needs to travel all the time
for me to go down there. It's just FYI.
No, I hope you have fun. I will be straight dad mode / work mode. This will be better for me because I'll be able to serve our people. Me and Leah got our shows, our game day programs that we do. Of course, I do Cyclone Reaction on the network with Colin. So, well, you're out having fun. I'll be keeping the fort going.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that one of us gets to go. Honestly, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to Crystal.
Yeah,
being
good job,
a great
Crystal.
sport.
Thank you, Crystal.
You know that her and your boys are going to end up at my house for that game, right?
Oh, so I thank you guys in advance. Yeah, she's the real hero.
Well, my wife's working all weekend, and you're gone all weekend, so Crystal and I will probably just tag team it all. Honestly, like
it'd be taken a lot of different ways, but
well, you know what? God, why you got to go there?
Because Aiden was thinking it.
I
saw him in the corner.
I meant
because it always goes there.
Our kids can play, the dogs can play.
It looks like a nice enough weekend.
I'll throw some food on the grill.
Maybe get the bounce house out. I get it.
Yeah, just let them go.
Yep.
Throw them in the backyard and let them go.
Maybe the Andersons will be around, and you could make it a
ship
trio.
them off on Megan.
Yeah, I think that's the real plan.
God bless you, Megan. All right. Again, thank our sponsors. We are presented as always by Mechdyne. We appreciate them. Been on board with us for a really long time. Williams and Blum Wednesday is also presented by Gravitate Co-working. Check them out at gravitatecoworking.com.
I'm going to see Jeff later today.
There you go.
Got something cooking with him.
Something cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get your will done in the day with our friend Hopewood. HopewoodJD.com. This is one of those deals that everybody hates having. Oh, God, I got to go and do that. Get it done in a day. Diehard Cyclone. And if you give a reference to us, she'll give a donation to the We Will Collective. How awesome is that? Matthew Sluka, the quarterback for UNLV, makes huge news in the dead of night. It's 11:36 p.m. Iowa time when he tweeted that he will be quitting the program. UNLV is 3-0. They are an actual playoff contender to get that Group of 5 spot. They had a big win at Kansas a couple weeks ago. We all watched that on a Friday night. And he said his quote, Brent, despite discussions, it became clear these commitments would not be fulfilled in my future, talking about, quote, certain representations that were made to me, which is a really unique way of saying like promises or.
Yes.
It felt very lawyery. He said he wishes his teammates the best of luck for the program the rest of the season. Now, the immediate response is you get a lot of the Twitter tough guys, and they're crushing him, and they're saying, "Hey, you're quitting on your team. What happened to the college football I love?" All that good stuff. My immediate response in my head, not publicly, I'm thinking, "Oh, the collective didn't meet what?"
It's first conclusion.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just thought like there's some adult that made a promise and didn't live up to it.
Because honestly, still in a lot of situations, these are just wink, wink, handshake agreements. Yeah, you'll come here. Just full disclosure on the we will side, we sign all of our higher end folks to contracts now. And so we do have literally an obligation that is written by a lawyer.
You have to pay them.
That we have to pay them. It's not like, hey,
Hey,
maybe we'll get there type of thing. Everything's written in stone.
Again, now my read was that this young man who had transferred in, correct?
Yes, from Holy Cross.
Yes.
This past off season.
Correct. So
after they lost a kid to Vandy.
So my thought was that they have not lived up to what they said they were going to do, and he only has 1 year left, and he says, I'm not going to waste it if you guys aren't going to live up to your end of the deal. If that was the case, I don't know if I blame him. I hate it. I mean, this sucks on all sorts of different levels, but it would kind of be like, this guy's not going to play in the NFL probably. This is
correct.
An opportunity for him to monetize his talents, and this is a job. He's treating it like a business, like a job. But there's more that has come out this morning to this. I'll let Aiden pull up the tweet. This appears to be a reporter from 24/7. His name is Carl Reed Jr. at Coach Reed Live. Is he like a UNLV reporter? Do we know? He says
I think he's just general 24/7.
Okay. The tweet says all financial commitments for UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka were completely met, but after wins against Kansas and Houston, Sluka's family hired an agent, and they collectively feel that his market value has increased per a source.
And then there was a reporter out of Vegas who, right after he announced this, had something similar that she wrote that basically said the same thing, as in the guy just parked it, didn't want to play anymore because...
He said, I'm overplaying what you're paying me. Layman's terms, you need to pay me more.
Correct.
Okay.
Here's what I think, without knowing all the details, because this is the world that happens. This is 100% legit. And thankfully, it hasn't really happened to us to this degree ever at Iowa State, but there's nothing, honestly, like this could happen tomorrow at Iowa State. I don't.
Yeah.
But this is the problem we've gotten. We have put ourselves in this box.
Mm-hmm.
And you can blame the kid. You can blame the collective. You could blame the other schools. This is the situation. This is where we're in. So what I'm guessing happened, kid transfers from Holy Cross to UNLV, gets a nice payday. Probably not a huge payday based on UNLV, but probably not a small payday either. UNLV meets that obligation thinking they're getting a kid who wasn't getting paid from Holy Cross. Like Mike Gundy said about that other kid they got from Division III.
D3 linebacker.
He was
goodbye.
A good buy.
Yeah.
Kid has a lot of success early. He beats Houston. He beats Kansas. He looks like a really good player.
Yeah, I mean that Friday night game against Kansas. Like that's all anyone was talking about was this kid.
Like, it's like, where'd they get? I looked it up too. Like, where'd they get this kid? Where did he come from?
Yeah, he's legit.
So I am guessing he immediately has success. Now, keep in mind the rule based on the NCAA is once you play in 4 games, you lose your red shirt. You cannot get eligibility. He has 1 year left. He is clearly not an NFL guy, and so I am guessing he goes to the UNLV people and said, "Hey, I've got now value," and he does have an agent. There's no question because he tweeted about it back in February. I now have value. I'm sure other schools are reaching out to my agent or my people and saying, "Hey, if you can come here next year and we'll pay you X amount." And he probably came to the UNLV people and said, "This is what you need to give me or I will leave. I will not play the rest of the year, and I'm going to leave. And I'm guessing UNLV said, we don't have it. Sorry.
Yeah, and they probably really don't.
They probably don't.
Yeah,
like I don't.
I mean, they could go to a playoff if they had it. They would.
I can't imagine they
probably
would
pay him.
Yeah, I'm sure they would want to.
Yeah,
this is not a good look for them either.
No.
So they probably don't have the money. But somebody else, I'm gonna guess, offered the kid based on the market of what I think he could get based on his success against KU and UNLV. You're talking about $800,000 plus. I'm going to guess UNLV is probably paying him less than $100,000, if that.
So this is you, based on what we know, and we're leaving it wide open to. There's probably more that we don't know than what we do know. Just to be fair to everybody in the situation.
Yes, I just based on being in these conversations.
This is
before.
a pretty shrewd business. This is a cutthroat business decision by a player. Where I would add, coaches and administrators have been doing this for decades.
And the rules are set up for him to do this.
Yeah.
So I blame nobody here, but I blame everybody here.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
It's just like this is like, honestly, guys, we've had these conversations and it hasn't happened at Iowa State yet. But we had a player last year in the handshake line get approached by another team in the handshake line, post-football game. Said, hey, one of our people is going to be reaching out. Thankfully, nothing came of it. We have basketball teams worried about where they're going to stay for a tournament this November because they're worried there's going to be other representatives from other teams at the same hotel trying to talk to their people. These are the conversations that you have to worry about now because it's legal. Like, there's nothing illegal about them doing it. There is no tampering. It's not being enforced right now.
And I would add and I don't do this very often, but I would defend the suits here. The athletic directors, the presidents, as to why we need to get this lawsuit done through the House.
Absolutely.
Because it protects everybody from this. One, it protects the player where you're going to get paid what you say you're going to get paid. And not that Vegas didn't do this, but we do know of instances where players aren't getting what they were promised.
Correct.
And that was my biggest fear when this whole thing started. I trusted the kids more than I did the adults. Okay?
Yeah.
My fear going into the new thing is that the kids will get taken advantage of, but that's a whole other, we can talk about that when it goes. But this also protects the player or the programs. So if I'm if I'm UNLV's athletic director or football coach and I sold season tickets and maybe I've sold a bunch of tickets to upcoming games because we're 3-0 and we're going to be competing for a playoff, and we're playing in the Raiders Stadium now, and we've done all these, and we finally got into this. This is a hell of a different program than the one we saw when we were out there a few years ago, right?
Correct.
And they're finally there, and now our 22-year-old quarterback just says, "This isn't good enough for me now. I'm out." Like, that's not fair to the fans. That's not fair to the coach, who presumably, from what we understand here, has lived up to what they promised.
Well, it's not fair to the athletic department. It's not fair to TV. I mean,
no, I get it.
There have been decisions made based on UNLV being a potential playoff team
because of what they've done up until now.
Yeah, and now it's just poof. But the rules allow it. And so who do you really blame? And, my hope is a situation like this, but it hasn't happened yet. I mean, there have been situations similar to this, not really in the middle of the season to this degree, that it'll wake somebody up either from Congress, which is less likely, or
Harry Reid, the alien guy, isn't he a Vegas guy?
Yeah, he's passed now.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got the airport named after him.
God, when did he die?
6 years ago.
Oh.
It's been a little bit.
Man, you read those alien books, he's all over the place. He's got all sorts of insight. That would have been a brain if you could pick that thing. Jiminy Christmas. He's got all sorts. Okay.
Never change, C-Dub.
He's everywhere. That Skidwalker Ranch stuff. Like, jeez.
Or these conferences finally get on the same page and come up with some sort of system.
Well,
but I don't think they can.
We all know that's not happening.
When they put it together, they get sued and they lose. And so stuff like this is going to continue to happen. And honestly,
I'm so annoyed.
My thing is if Congress didn't act when Oregon State and Washington State basically got eliminated from high-level college athletics, why are they going to act?
I need a shot of Cody
like
Road
that?
for this conversation.
It's just, and the reaction you're going to hear, and you like you said, you referenced, there's going to be people on the internet say, "Oh, I'm done. I'm over college athletics."
Yeah,
things like this continue to happen. It may get there, but the TV ratings again are like, look at how many people watch the USC Michigan game. Look at how many watch the Oklahoma Tennessee game. Like,
I'm reading a really good book. You need to read it. It pull it up, Aiden, if you can. It's called The Price. Armin Katayan. It's a brand, and John Talty from 247 wrote it.
Okay,
and it's about you need to read it with your job. Like it's fun. I held off on it because, not being arrogant, but I was like, what in this book is going to tell me that I don't already know? Because I'm in this world every day. And I'm about halfway through it right now, but they take you like in depth on like why Saban left and why in the Harbaugh thing. And like my thing would be like Harbaugh, can just every January go on this tour of NFL and just leave 100 student athletes just sitting there waiting to know if their coach is going to be there. Aiden pulled it up on YouTube.
yeah,
That's
coaches, players, administrators, everybody just kind of waits on.
In these coaches make business decisions, and they have forever. I mean, it's even happened at Iowa State. Matt's not like playing people, but like he's talked to other places, right? Like it happens. Paul Rhodes did that. He got a new contract because Wisconsin was like this stuff happens all the time.
Has been.
And again, that wasn't a shot at Matt or Paul. My point is just it happens everywhere where the adults can do this. The problem is they don't do it in the middle of the year, right? And these players,
they have contracts.
Yes, they have contracts that they have to live up to. The players can do whatever the F they want now. And while I'm pretty staunchly player power here, there still have to be some limitations. You can't do this to your offensive line.
Nope.
You can't do this to your backup. You can't. And he's going to. And again, like he's not breaking a rule.
And there's nothing stopping him.
He's making a business decision. But there's nothing you can do about it because
we put ourselves in this position.
Yes.
This is and
if this kid makes this decision in December, I'm totally fine with it.
So the only way this stops is either you put guardrails up and you actually have contracts that mean something, but then that would force to acknowledge that the players are employees, and then you go down that road,
which they are.
I agree, but you're not. But you can't admit that because then it opens up the whole.
I get it.
You understand it.
I understand it. I just I hate the farce that they're not employees. They are employees.
The back end way to fix it is if nobody now signs the kid.
And I actually thought about that. Like there will be schools that won't take him because of this.
Now
I guarantee you, Matt Campbell would not bat an eye at this kid after this move.
No,
but there are others who will just take it.
But how important is the quarterback? Like I am,
you're wearing a Rocco back
thank
hoodie.
Goodness for this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, seriously. Like when I read that, I'm like, I am grateful for Rocco Beck this morning because, again, based on what I know, and where would Iowa State be without him? And again, the quarterback is an outsized position in that it has so much influence on everything. How much would Auburn be willing to pay for a good quarterback right now?
What would they pay for Matthew Sluka?
Without knowing, I would guess they'd be at the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Florida.
And just put it this way too, from a business standpoint, you're Matthew Sluka. You know your situation. You only have 1 year left.
And once if he played one more game, he is done in college.
In your mind, you've been lowballed.
Yep.
And you made a bad decision. But you know what? The rules dictate that you can do whatever the hell you want. And it's going to be the difference in $800,000 for your family's future that you can go and put in a freaking index fund and just let it grow over the next 30 years. You're a multi-millionaire based on this one move. Mm-hmm. So while it sucks,
these are the rules. We did this to ourselves.
And I have no idea what Matthew Sluka's past is, if he has a wealthy family or whatever. That the whole thing sucks. And I hope this kid's had a bad night of sleep, right? I hope that my point is that this was a hard decision for somebody to make, to leave your brothers and and I'm guessing it probably was. You just wonder, outside influences, mom and dad are one thing. When these agents start coming in, they don't truly care about these players. They want a payday.
Well, these agents are getting some
Is it 10, 15%?
15, 20%.
Yeah. So if it's $1 million deal, that agent just
got $150,000.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about.
And my
UNLV.
guess is if you're an agent who's signing the Holy Cross quarterback, that's a pretty good payday for you.
And my guess is if you're the agent for the Holy Cross quarterback, you don't have the higher end.
So $100,000 deal is
making a pretty good year for you.
It's a good
pal.
deal for you.
Yeah. The system is broken. Okay, the system is completely broken. It's going to go forward, but these things are going to continue to happen, and we can sit here and complain about it, or somebody can fix it. You and me can't fix it. We can talk about it. But the administrators, Congress, the coach, everyone needs to get in the same room and go, all right, we cannot continue to go down this path where everybody's looking out for their self-interest and not the greater good. The ratings are still great. But more and more of these things keep happening. You're going to just, maybe you won't. Maybe it'll just continue to go on forever, and this is just going to be part of the drama and the soap opera. But my hope is stories like this, everybody acknowledges that this isn't good, and let's fix it. But
it's a good
I'm
way
an
to put
optimist.
It. You are an optimist. Williams and Blum Wednesday here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
And super grateful for all those Iowa State players who remained, and that for the supporters of We Will that have supported enough so that those decisions like that are more difficult.
Shout out to Kelderman Manufacturing for supporting the program as they do each and every week here on Cyclone Fanatic. Jeff reached out, wanted to go to Houston with us. Probably should text him because I can't go. That'd be a hell of a party. You
hang out with Kelderman?
Kelderman down there? My God. Kelderman.com if you like cars, trucks, motorcycles, all that cool stuff. Go to their YouTube page. It's awesome. You're going to get lost in it. See all the cool stuff that they can do down there in Oskaloosa. Also, want to thank our friends at the Iowa State University Foundation. MoveWhatMatters.com. Be a well-rounded Cyclone. You can give to all different areas of the university, places that have impacted you over the years. I would recommend giving to our friends at the Ivy College of Business. I used my Cyclones versus the World mug today as opposed to the Ivy College of Business one because I did that. Check this out. Go to the Cyclone Fanatic store, cyclonefanaticshop.com. The Baylor game is a whiteout.
That's right.
I've been told by Iowa State this is the first time they have attempted this in Jack Trice Stadium.
I can't remember it.
So they are really, really wanting to push this. And I said, I'll help you do that. We have created Cyclone versus the World t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies, and we have a new retro. What do you call that logo?
It's the classic
the
tornado.
Scripps classic tornado logo.
Classic tornado.
So we have all new whiteout options available for you at CycloneFanaticShop.com. And I'm told these will ship on Monday. So you'll get them by the game next weekend. These will ship on Monday.
Adult and youth sizes.
Adult and youth sizes.
Critical. Important to note, it's not just whiteout. Have you heard about the other histrionics that Pollard acknowledged on the coaches show last night?
No.
This is via Jack Trice Mafia on Twitter. One of the great Cyclone Twitter accounts, by the way. Shout out to whoever runs that. Iowa State. This is from Jamie last night. Iowa State wearing white uniforms. Baylor's going to wear the dark uniforms. So I think they call that, is it iced out, Aiden? Is that the right phrase? Handing out pom-poms to the fans, which I assume will be white pom-poms. Good idea.
So are they wearing the black, the Stormtrooper ones?
I think it's going to be, it's got to be the white.
Yeah, the black and white.
Yeah, the
white
with
and
the
black
helmet. It's got to be.
Those are dope.
But that's not all.
Oh, we have more?
We have fireworks.
Fireworks?
And we have a drone show.
A drone show?
You ever seen a drone show?
No.
Oh, my goodness, it's electric. This could be one of the all-time nights, Jack Trice Stadium history, next Saturday. a drone show. These things are incredible.
This could be the night
think
that
Dave Aranda will have fun?
Yeah, I was going to say Dave Aranda might get fired.
He might get to say the night names.
We got Vince McMahon on the big board. You're fired.
Gotta win Saturday to make that a little bit more electric, though. But the point is, it's a could be a big time night. 6:30 kickoff, under lights, all white, pom poms. Please, can we everyone wear white? Like we figure out
be
one
in your
time.
seat at kickoff.
Yeah, can we just do it once?
Figure it out. Okay. Even if you don't have a white Iowa State shirt and you don't want to buy a new one, just wear a damn white shirt. It's not that freaking hard.
Yeah, go. Sports.
I don't know what it is about our fan base, but we have a hell of a time with these.
We have a
teams.
rough time with the shirt selection,
and I'm not good at it either. We went to a basketball
game. We got
game.
yelled at. Yeah, that was that last year,
and I didn't even know it. Yeah. And I'm like, So let's all hold hands, sing "Kumbaya," and wear a freaking white shirt to the game. All right,
give it a shot.
Good God.
And hope it doesn't rain for some in the audience.
Those white Cyclones versus the World shirts are badass.
Get me one of those.
It's my favorite thing we've ever done. And in 20 years of doing this, the Cyclones versus the World brand is my favorite thing we've done, other than the hundreds of $1,000s to fight pediatric cancer.
It's a good second. The Tyrese alone, like Halliburton, has purchased like every single color of those.
Well, we actually printed special ones for him.
Just for him.
So Tyrese hit me up his senior year and then when he got drafted, and he wanted them in all different colors. He's like, all right, I want a white one with cardinal and then a cardinal one with white. And I'm like, all right, we'll do whatever you want, Tyrese. If you're going to wear those things around, I will tattoo it on your chest. Okay?
We're getting the white shirt. Everyone get the white shirt.
Yeah, those things are dope. Like really, really cool. And we have a special announcement inspired by Aiden Wyatt and Jacqueline Cordova and kind of myself. We're printing these on what? It's like a special
Comfort Colors.
Comfort Colors. Have you ever worn a Comfort Colors shirt?
Not on purpose.
They are awesome. So we're upping our quality and we've always had quality stuff, but this is like a different brand of shirt.
The technology has improved.
Yeah, and like we're trying to step up our game a little bit.
You know, evolve or die.
Evolve or die.
Giddy up.
Comfort Colors.
Here we go.
Comfort Colors.
But hey, got to take care of business in Houston.
Business. Let's go right to that. Iowa State's now a 13.5-point favorite. Sharps are all over Iowa State when this thing comes out at 12. So professional money all over Iowa State in this game.
I did some research. This is not my favorite research I've done, but I acknowledge we acknowledge the facts here on the program, don't we, C-Dub?
Yes.
Professional journalists. The last time Iowa State was a 10-point or more favorite on the road in Big 12 play was a 13.5-point favorite in Lubbock 3 years ago.
Womp, womp.
And then that guy hit the 98-yard field goal. So we're acknowledging that because, again, we tell the facts here on the program.
Different time.
Different time.
Different opponent.
Different opponent. Problem is, same quarterback.
No way. You're right, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That son of a gun.
Donovan Smith.
I like Donovan Smith. Nice player.
He hasn't done much since that game, but he is still, in fact, the quarterback. There was a quarterback of that game, too. Now,
I'm a big Willie Fritz guy.
Yeah,
right?
I think Iowa State, based on what I think this is a maturity game. This is an emotional IQ game. You go in here, you don't make it interesting like Iowa State got behind in that Tech game 3 years ago. You come out and you just try and put them away early and enjoy that half-empty stadium in Houston full of Cyclone fans. Because if you let a Willie Fritz team hang around, they got a good enough defense.
Yeah.
They could make it a little spicy.
I would recommend if you're wanting to scout Houston, don't watch last week's game.
Yeah,
watch the Oklahoma game from 2 weeks before.
Classic no-show of
I just like
early morning hangover.
We, as sports fans, we're all too reactionary completely, and this is why you always lose in Las Vegas. This is why general public sucks at sports betting. Because you'll watch the Falcons blow that game, against Kansas City the other night, right? Or maybe that's not a great example, but there's other ones, right?
Why would it?
You'll watch Houston get killed by the Vikings, and you go, "Oh, they suck now."
Terrible. Yeah.
No, that's when you bet on them because all the idiots are betting against them. So my point is with Houston, they're not as bad as the Cincinnati game would lead you to believe. They're not that bad. Now, how good are they? I don't know, but I'm going to watch the Oklahoma game. And I'll watch their game against UNLV probably, where they got punked in that one too. Watch their Rice game. They are somewhere in the middle, and they will ascend because this is a first-year program under a first-year developmental coach. If Dana Holgerson is still there, no, I have a belief that they're probably going to quit, right? And that's what they did for the most part at the end of last year.
Yes.
Do you agree with my analysis on Houston?
I do, and it's not just Willie. I think didn't he bring his whole staff with him? Clearly thise guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
We saw it we talked about it on Sunday with that Campbell first team. Got a lot better as the year went on, then beat Mahomes by 95 in November. Now, I'm glad this game is when it is, but there is going to be a time, Houston wins a game that everyone's going, how did they do that? It's going to happen.
I would still
do not let them hang around in this game.
I still think Iowa State will cover. I would take Iowa State by 14, 17-ish right now. You made a good point on Saturday. When you're a road team, you always prefer not a night game. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. They beat BYU by 100 last year, and that game kicked off at 9 o'clock local time. Okay, so it's nothing's ever perfect when you're doing that.
Correct.
The couple notes that I have, and I need you to confirm these. I was going to text you yesterday. I forgot. I apologize.
Thanks a lot.
Haven't started 4-0 since 2000.
Correct.
Haven't started 5-0 since 1912.
Correct.
Whew. Wasn't there a big war in 1912?
Or was it the plague?
Or that was 1812.
Yeah, that's 1812.
Sorry.
When was the pandemic? The
2020.
Thanks, Aiden.
The Spanish one.
Oh yeah, the Spanish flu.
Spanish flu. I believe that was 1912.
I've been reading about these Spanish.
Was I right?
1918.
1918. There's been two pandemics since Iowa State started 5-0 in football.
Who was president in 1912? Is that old Woodrow Wilson?
I think it was. Or was it?
I'm a president's guy.
I think it was Wilson. That's actually a really good poll. If you're right on that, then
please look that up, Aiden.
That's a hat tip.
I'm a president guy. My daughter, the 9-year-old, obsessed with presidents. She knows more about presidents than any of you watching. I'm not kidding.
That would be Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah! Woodrow!
This has been an elite show.
Really good show today. Really, really quality show.
But that's the thing. It's you look at all those things. You look at the whiteout next week. You look at on and on and on. It's
I told you, Colin Newell about strangled me.
I get it. We can do it.
He about killed me up in the booth.
You're still doing it with 18 to 22-year-olds.
He about put them old bear paws around my neck.
And I know there's people who are uncomfortable listening to this, and I am with you. But that's why you got to play the game. You play the game, and if you're good enough, your IQ level, your emotional IQ, your toughness, you don't let them hang around, and you just bury them. It's like Step Brothers. What are you doing? I'm burying you.
Hey, real true story, and then we're going to get to our Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment.
Okay.
Got my annual physical yesterday at the Iowa Clinic, or on Monday. And my blood work numbers and all that stuff were phenomenal. Just knocked them out of the park. You know why? Because I've lost all that weight due to our friends at Game Day Men's Health. They all work together. It all works together.
Proud of you.
See, I don't just say it. I am a man, and I go to the doctor. I got my physical. So thank you to Dr. Nicholson, my main man. He's a bit of a hawk, but, he's not one of the douchey hawks, though.
If Iowa State had a med school, it might be a little different.
Correct.
You got to acknowledge the fine doctors we have in this state.
Phenomenal.
We have 2 great medical schools.
Phenomenal. I believe he was a DMU guy, but I'm not.
He was a Des Moines University guy, former employer.
Yeah, really good dude. He's been my doc for. It's funny. We were talking about colonoscopies. Just a couple guys sitting around talking about colonoscopies, and I was like, "Yeah, I had one about 5 years ago or so. When do you recommend the new one?" He's like, "That was 10 years." This is
10 years
like
ago?
time just flies.
Wow.
Right? feels like I just had that thing shoved up there yesterday.
A K-State fan.
Oh, yeah, the 5-layer burrito.
That ever happened?
All right, can we stop doing that as
Yeah,
fans?
we're done. I'm not.
Just
So
enough
let's
of this.
acknowledge it.
No more. It was really
Larry-
funny there for a while.
Larry, I'm looking at you, Larry.
You know what? If Iowa State wins this weekend, I will grill a burger
and
and eat it.
There you go.
And I'll enjoy it.
I will shove it down your throat.
I will have a Cody Road.
I will drink an entire bottle
Don't go that
of Irish cream.
Yeah.
Irish cream. Actually, that'd probably make you puke. Probably too much.
Probably too much. Yeah, we were responsible on the program.
Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment where Kansas State is hosting Oklahoma State this weekend, Brent. Do or die game for playoffs for these teams.
Really
right?
is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. And unless you win out and you win the championship, then you're in anyway. But yes, if you want an at-large, they have to win this game. I think it's going to be interesting. Like, that is a game you look at, because you want, yes, winning the Big 12 will get you in. I think the interesting part is, C-Dub, that why every game matters here, including that game, why it's important that BYU beat K-State. That's one more loss that they're going to have to try and get into the championship, too. Like, every game, like the top two teams get there. So every game, I would guess, what do you think? Probably 7-2 will get you in to the Big 12 championship game?
The way it's looking right now, probably.
Probably. That loss by K-State to BYU is huge for Iowa State, because I don't see a world where BYU is going to get there. Maybe they're better than I think. And
You're
so
kind of looking at it like
that's a bad loss.
do what you're supposed to do and just beat either Utah or Kansas State, and you're probably going to be in.
If you
Again, sorry calling no.
if you handle business.
It said do what you're supposed to.
Yep.
But I was looking at the new power ratings from Gold Sheet. It's a Vegas.
Are they
betting-
reputable?
Yeah, it's like it's world class.
Mm-hmm.
And Iowa State's power rating, according to Gold Sheet, is the same as Utah and Kansas State. Shockingly.
Yeah. Well,
Meaning, if that game is on a neutral field, it's a pick 'em. That is factoring in Cam Rising being injured for Utah. But my point is, Iowa State was an underdog against Kansas State about 3 weeks ago. They are no longer.
won't be anymore.
And they were a 7-point underdog against Utah when this season started. So Iowa State's number keeps getting better. These other ones are kind of sinking just a smidge.
Well, then, you look at it, that West Virginia game, that was a pick-em. West Virginia was a slight favorite before the year. Probably Iowa
State's
State
a
by
favorite now.
4 or 5 now.
Yeah,
I mean,
completely agree.
so it's that the game is not played with those guys. However, it just shows Iowa State's reputation is going to continue to increase, and if they keep stacking performance on performance like they did last week,
Also,
things look better.
I couldn't find this stat independently. Okay. I was reading the Gold Sheet last night. I do this every Tuesday night. It takes me about 2 hours to read through every preview for the country. According to their stats, there's not a team in all of college football with more explosive plays this year than Iowa State. That surprised me. What is an explosive play in there? I don't know. And again, I tried to independently find this, and I couldn't. But I thought it was really interesting. The Athletic has a thing. They have a stat guy who does an explosive play ratio, meaning how many is your defense giving up compared to what is your offense doing. And I would guess Iowa State's really good there. But again, I couldn't find updated numbers.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up right now. Here, just give me 2 minutes on the old NCAA. By the way, stats, if anybody wants to know, like, hey, where do you find this stuff? Stats.ncaa.org.
It's really good.
Is phenomenal, and they do a really good job, and it is completely free. So I'm going to do a little calculation here. Yards per play for Iowa State on offense, 6.2.
34th.
You beat me to it.
Like a Rain Man over here.
You beat me to it. So that's
this is literally what I do. I sit around and I crunch numbers.
Considering that that kind of snoozer against North Dakota, but it was actually a pretty efficient game. A snoozer against Iowa.
We need to get 2 more games into this because the Iowa game's weird, and last week's game was an anomaly. Like, you're not going to...
They look like they did not want to be there in the second half.
I mean, I can't take too much into
Correct. But the point is, people, if you look at Iowa State, you would say, oh, the defense looks like it's outperformed the offense. Realistically, they're both been really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I'm not complaining about either side right
you know
now.
what I like about last week's game? I watched it again. Is that Rocco really hasn't been elite yet?
True.
He's had really good moments. His first quarters have been bad by his standards. By his standards. And I think he would agree with us.
Yep.
I like the fact that our quarterback hasn't maxed out and you're still 3-0. And you still love your quarterback. It's not like, oh, man, I'm really worried about this.
Well, and Bramer had a great game, but didn't do much in the first two. And Eli Green is really good. He hasn't really done anything yet. Like, you still got some other guys, and Benny Nagoye almost had a really good catch. Like, there are still players that Iowa State hasn't really broken out. So, we'd say 32nd in yards per play on offense. Iowa State is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th in defense yards per play. That's a pretty impressive combo.
Speaking of that, got it in the mail yesterday. My autographed jersey from my tag team partner, Caleb Brazina, will be getting framed. It will be behind my podcast setup in the home office.
You kicking her out?
No, she's staying here.
Okay.
He's going to the home office.
Oh, nice.
And then I texted my other tag team partner this week, Miles Mindazoon.
Great game.
I was like, dude, keep that up. He was phenomenal when he went in
Crazy,
there
man. I love
on
it.
Saturday. Like, he was a madman.
Yeah. But you're right. Still, 3 games in, small sample size. Like,
Yeah,
this is where it's...
the Iowa game's just weird.
It was a strange
Although,
outing.
I mean, Iowa State's offense was really good in the second half against Iowa, right? Like, I mean, really good.
And nobody else has... Well, Troy...
Nobody
Troy
else has slowed down Caleb Johnson yet either,
Yeah.
and Iowa State was able to do it. And I'd still, while he's been phenomenal, I've been tapping the brakes a little bit because I think if you get real defensive coaches with some dudes, like McNamara is going to have to make a throw at some point, but
Yeah.
it's a whole other deal.
And I think Iowa State, I would say, hasn't been tested yet.
No, the linebackers haven't truly been
At all,
tested
yeah.
by a dual threat.
No.
Like,
No, and you're going to get a little
Baylor
bit of
will
that.
do it.
Baylor will do it for sure. I think it's, on the Houston side, I think it's interesting. Smith's been split snaps, and they said they're going to play them both on Saturday. They got 2 quarterbacks there. I looked at it a little bit. He tore his labrum last year, Smith, and had surgery in the spring. So he's still not quite all the way there now that he's played in every single game. So he's a little banged up from that aspect. So Iowa State might see 2 quarterbacks. Both are pretty mobile, though. So I think these quarterbacks will test Iowa State as much, if not more, than anybody they've seen. And I'll get another test. And you're on the road in the Big 12, and clearly Houston has some dudes. So you keep stacking good games, and the yards per play will follow, and then the power ratings follow that. Like, it's all the numbers are connected.
yeah, I thought the power rating update was really
Super
interesting, though.
And that is all based on the in-game performance.
Yep. All right. The other games to keep an eye on, fascinating one in Waco. Iowa State's next opponent, Baylor. This is a good 11 a.m. kick. Blum will be at a watering hole in Houston watching this, I'm sure. BYU's 9 o'clock kickoff local time for BYU. A little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that. That's
point.
11 a.m. kick. Baylor is a 3-point favorite in this game. It feels like Baylor wins. I still think people are overvaluing BYU after their start.
I agree.
So I'm going to go on record right now and pick Baylor to win that game. And what most people would consider to be an upset, but if Vegas is favoring them here, I want to go with that. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that. That's a tough spot for BYU, for sure.
TCU's at Kansas. That's at Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas is a 1.5 point favorite.
ESPN Pluser?
Yes. Yeah. BYU Baylor's Fox Sports 1. 2:30. So we have really a great day of Big 12 football. You have 4 windows. Okay. You have an 11.
Is the GOAT, right?
11, 2:30, 6, 7, 9, 15.
Awesome.
You've got Colorado at Central Florida. 15 is now the line.
Creeping
With
up
Central
there.
Florida. All the smart money has been on the Knights. They're really good there in the bounce house.
Yeah, they are. This is a maturity. Again, I would say similar to Iowa State going down to Houston. Like, how mature is UCF to handle some of this? Now,
Central Florida hasn't done a lot.
They
really.
haven't. And their fans are getting a little snipey on like, hey, why aren't we getting the respect? It's like, well, what have you done?
I mean, it doesn't help when you're
TCU.
TCU win and then they give up 66 the next week.
Right. That didn't help them. You're correct. This now, if they take care of business against the Colorado team that certainly has a good offense, then I will start appreciating them more.
If you are going to Houston on Saturday, don't buy your tickets. You're probably going to be able to get in for free.
What's the rate? I haven't bought a ticket yet.
ESPN says tickets as low as $6
Oh my goodness.
for that game.
What should I do? Should I just wait and just walk in?
I would just go on StubHub like 10 minutes before you go in and just buy one.
I mean,
I bet you can just get a free one.
I think I just ask John if I could be a spotter.
It's kind of like going to a Kansas game back in the day.
Probably a little
You
bit.
just walk in. Like nobody's even there.
But my wife's like, what are you going to do with parking? I'm like,
Take an Uber.
I could take an Uber, or I'm going to guess parking's not a real terrible
Just ask
situation.
Mr. Bergstrom.
there. Bergstrom, yeah, can I get a ride?
Hey, Steve. Give me a chauffeur,
Right.
please.
Chauffeur.
Put it on the collective.
No, nothing on the collective.
He's giving enough money to the collective.
Well, I
He
say
can
you, right, yeah. I think
$10 cab ride, not a big
people would
deal.
understand
Okay,
that, yeah.
get it from Mr. Bergstrom. Put it on my tab. I'll pay for
Thank
it.
you.
Cincinnati at Texas Tech. I love Texas Tech here. Everybody's overvaluing Cincinnati
What's that
after
one?
last
Is it
week.
under a touchdown?
3.
Oh my goodness.
This is a money making weekend in the Big 12, folks. This is get rich. The lines are all jacked this weekend.
Why is Cincinnati getting that love? I know
It's
they
Tyson
were impressive. I like Tyson.
That's our guy Tyson.
Yeah, but
Vegas is looking at it and they're going elite defensive mind.
I've been down to Lubbock before.
They're going to be throwing tacos at them. They're going to be squirting
3?
salsa all over them.
3?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. Okay.
And then the nightcap after dark. Arizona at Utah.
Oh, the old classic Big 12 game.
11 is the number here. Which again, like,
Be careful with that.
I think I'd play
That's on
Arizona.
Sunday. I think so too.
Coming off a bye.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm all over these Big 12 games this week. This is a great slate.
That's fun.
Elite slate of games. So here's what you're going to do. You're just going to sit back and root against everybody in Kansas State, Oklahoma. You're going to bet on Baylor over BYU. You don't care about Kansas, TCU.
No.
Or we're going to make a teaser, including that game. We're going to tease down UCF, get that down under 2 touchdowns. With Iowa State, tease it with Iowa State, get that down under 2 touchdowns. So you got the road team. You're going to hammer Texas Tech, and you're going to play Arizona conservatively. There you go.
You're an investor winnings
Into the We
in the
Will
We Will
Collective.
Collective, so we don't have the UNLV situation happen.
It's just a wild.
Oh my, what a world.
Last but certainly not least, these new basketball uniforms.
Yeah. Awesome.
Everybody's losing their minds.
Well,
I mean, if we have to have a gold uniform, that's pretty cool.
I'm just so glad. Aiden, can you re-rack the start of this? They led this with my guy, Dedrick Willoughby, R.I.P.
Yep.
Like those uniform, and then Cato with the reverse slam there, Kenny Pratt involved. That was awesome that they did this video. And then I love
Rashawn, baby. Rashawn Clark.
one of the best plays ever.
I'm in the student section there just going nuts when he made that dunk.
Niang against Kansas. We don't talk about the ending of that game. But I loved the fact that Taman is in Jack Trice and holding the football helmet with the Scripps Cyclones like that. Iowa State's social media game in the last 6 months is on a real heater right now. And this is a great video.
Well, now there's pressure on football. They want those retros back.
Well, and I am team, and if Aiden can pull this up, I have made it my mission over the last 2 years, and I've talked to some influential people. I'm team helmet car, very pro team helmet. I mean, Martz had the shirt 5 years ago. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
I think we're trending. I hope to that era. Like, look at that beautiful script Cyclones. That's a big upgrade. It's a big upgrade over the Block Eye State. Nothing against the Block Eye State. I just think that looks better.
I like
how
it.
about, hey, because I know he listens.
If we have to do the gold, that's good.
I know I got to mention this and we're fit. Look at that beauty. Like, well, who says no to that? Who says no to that parked right there? And then
we need to bring the shirts back, Martz, if you're listening.
I mean, like, it's time. We can lean into it. So your good friend Chris Hassel had to tweet once Iowa State released its uniform that Iowa State was copying Iowa again.
Oh God, he's just trolling.
What are we doing?
I don't claim him.
I think Chris is. I think Hassel's like a closet Iowa State fan.
He just wants Iowa to copy Iowa State and go to a Sweet 16.
Well,
that's what he wants.
It's been 25 years when the helmet car was still around.
Yeah, don't let Hassel get in your head.
I don't. I just like it because I think him and his dad love the Cyclone Fanatic podcast.
I know they do. Sitting around listening right now. All right. Well, good show today. Fun show today. Good job by Aiden to have all the production. Really, go to CycloneFanaticShop.com, and I'm making sure that they're on there. Cyclone Fanatic Shop to make sure. Yeah, the whites are on there. Cyclone versus the World hoodies. They've got the athletic hoodie. I don't know how else you would say it. They've got crew necks. They've got everything. It's a whiteout. You should also pick up your Dom Orange NIL t-shirt. That's our latest NIL shirt, and that's a big deal. Blum, you can
got mine ordered.
Test to that.
Yes.
It means a lot.
Huge.
While you're at it, there's Taman Lipsy. Got all the Emily Ryan. All that stuff. That money goes to them. There's a Rocco, Flow Like Rocco, all that good stuff. Check it out, CycloneFanaticShop.com. All right, Leah, Nelson, and I will have pregame for you across the Cyclone Fanatic social media feeds. We're recording that tonight. Halftime, we will be logged on as well. Of course, Cyclone Fanatic postgame. We'll have our picks with Tim Mullen coming up this week. Teddy Flint and the boys will have their gambling show. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cyclones versus the world.
See everybody in Houston.
Have a good day. Later.